You might have a stellar profile, but if you have one too many frequent job transitions, the interviewers will definitely ask you to explain the reasons for leaving each job. This is not a trick question, but certainly a very tricky question that must be well thought out. In this video, we share insights on how to best answer the interview question, why did you leave your job? So how exactly do we do that? Happy to walk through the 5 sound scenarios and the 1 critical tip we give our HRCap Star Network candidates to ace their interviews, so make sure you tune in carefully to the end. One of the biggest mistakes our candidates make in their interview is that they're not able to explain why they're interested in this job, and they're not able to show that they will be committed to the company if they get the job. The goal is to answer this tricky question by targeting both. Let's answer the question strategically to demonstrate your genuine interest in the job that you're applying for and show that you are definitely committed to stay long-term once you get the job. Let's talk about the 5 scenarios. First, this is when your leaving was far out of your own control and not at all your own decision. Your position was eliminated under a mass layoff, but you can say that you were given severance and recognition for your hard work. The position could have also required relocation, which you could not have afforded at the time. But you could also say that you were the last one to turn the lights off at the office and learned new skills in doing so. The position could have turned into another role which was not aligned to your career. You can say that you wanted to stay much longer but did not have the right background, skills, or fit to be successful. This scenario and these responses show that you had very little say in your reason for leaving, but took the challenge like a champ and would have liked to stay longer if you could. The second scenario is when you had an important life event. This is for big life-changing events that led you to make a well-informed decision. You had a strong rationale for needing to leave at that specific time for your very own personal life. For instance, you may have paused your career to go back to school to pursue a higher degree or change your direction in your career. You could say that you deepened your expertise, widened your perspectives, and gained new important networks. You may have resigned to take care of family members. You can say that it was extremely urgent at the time and now well resolved, so you're ready to work again without any issues or further disruptions. Lastly, commuting could have been extremely difficult by driving 2-3 hours each way. You can say that you learned to better utilize and manage your time. You may have worked out in the mornings and took classes in the afternoon. This scenario and these responses show that although you're dedicated to your work, you also know how to prioritize life. You're able to make conscious decisions to improve the quality of life and be better equipped for stronger performance in the next job. Scenario 3 is when you are ready for a change. This is when you have done your best with long commitment at the company but are now looking for growth and a new challenge. First, the position was no longer fulfilling and you were beginning to get bored with no new opportunities internally. You can say that you tried to look internally but there was nothing available offered to you. Perhaps promotion was not available at the prior company. You can say the new job was a promotion with greater responsibilities and new opportunities. The company could have been stagnant in growth and you had seen the writing on the wall. You can say that the new job was with an industry leader where you can learn skills and experiences by working closely with industry leaders in that new role. This scenario and these responses show that you are a life learner driven by growth and that you don't just leave for titles but learning opportunities. Companies will think about how to keep you engaged and to challenge you to constantly learn and grow within the company. The next scenario is when you are approached and recruited for the new job, especially when you are not actively looking for a new change. A previous boss recruited you over to work for him in his new company. This actually shows highest validation and praise by a previous leader who worked with you and is confident enough to serve as a reference to the entire organization. An executive recruiter approached you over for a role perfectly aligned to your goals. This shows confirmation for your skills by recruiters who work with many candidates across the industry. This scenario and these responses actually best confirm your competitive skills and proven experience. This also shows that you are not actively or passively looking but was approached unexpectedly. Recruiters will already start to think about how to get you to join the company and how to retain you from other companies out there. The last scenario is when you were terminated. Never lie or exaggerate and just be honest, as they will do reference checks and background checks and your offer will be rescinded if proven to be dishonest. You may have been let go for poor performance, But you can say that you have learned from this, have taken additional training to gain new skills and experiences, and actually did incredibly well in the next job. You may have been terminated for misdemeanor. Make sure to be clear with the facts and how you have reflected and learned from the mistake. This scenario and these responses show that you are honest and willing to turn weaknesses into strengths, negatives into positives, and challenges into opportunities. The critical tip is to explain how that scenario has made you a stronger professional and a better fit for this company. Once you're done explaining why you left your old job, you must tie it all together to show how the past experience relates to your skill sets and what you could bring to this new company. These were the HRCap insights on answering the tricky interview question, why did you leave your job? If you found these tips to be helpful, remember to like our videos and subscribe to our page. Visit our web for more insights or reach us directly at career@hrcap.com for personalized coaching.